PK in the universe, and I am back again with another video. And today I'm here to do a bit of an update. Video. That's right, folks. It's been over 7 months since apparently I did a indie game dev update, and I didn't even realize it until recently. I'm like, oh man, it's been 7 months for real? That's a long time. What have I been up to? Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now what I've been up to. Well, after I made that video, a lot actually changed for me. For example, I got a new job, and this job was supposed to be, not long-term, but it ended up being long-term. So I've continued to do this job, and it's taken up a lot of my time. Another thing also happened is the fact that things started going really well on YouTube. So much to the point where I'm like, you know what? I am so close to this, monetization goal. I'm going to get monetized on YouTube. I was like, when I got to 900 subscribers, it really dawned on me. It's like, I'm not even close to getting 4,000 hours of watch time. So I really have to make longer videos and videos people want to watch. So that's what I did. That's ultimately what I did. I just made longer videos, and some were better than others. I try to make a variety of content, because I understand some people don't want to sit through a 30-minute video. Some people would rather watch a 5-10-minute video. So I try to make as much diverse content as I can. It's not all, the best content in the world. I've said it myself. I don't make the highest quality content, okay? But I have been improving. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy making videos. And you know what? I've been on YouTube for over 10 years. Over 10 years, and I've never been paid a dime. And I did finally reach the goal of monetization. I finally got those 4,000 hours of watch time that I needed. And I'm really happy about it, that I'm officially monetized. So anybody who hate watches me, guess what? Unless you're using ad blocker, you're going to be paying me. So I don't really care. I'm pretty excited to be monetized finally. And the indie game dev stuff was put on the back burner. But I have been still looking at it, been still playing around with it. I've been working on actual different ideas for scripts and ideas. Yeah, I actually have a pretty good idea and a solid, firm concept finally, because I've had a bunch of different ideas and I've spitballed it with you guys and I've talked to other people about it, and I've kind of been all over the place, but I finally, nailed down something. I nailed down a concept that I think is going to work. And I finally decided what engine I actually want to use. I've talked about in the past I was going to use RPG Maker. I've talked in the past I want to use GB Studio. I've talked about different versions of RPG Maker, like RPG Maker XP. I think that was actually the RPG Maker that the creators of, was it To the Moon made, I want to say? Yeah, that is the most successful RPG Maker game of all time. That game made over $10 million. An RPG Maker game that has no battle system whatsoever, by the way, made $10 million. So anybody who tells you, oh, it's impossible to make any money from an RPG Maker game is pretty ignorant. It's a pretty ignorant statement. Somebody probably doesn't know what they're talking about, But again, at the end of the day, it's not even about the money with this thing. It's never been about the money. Yes, I would like to make some profit from my time and work, of course. That's part of the point of making any kind of video game. But this, at the end of the day, is still a passion project. Just like YouTube is a passion project. I've talked several times that, yes, I would like to make money off YouTube, but ultimately, YouTube is not my job. And it never will be my job. But I feel like my time is worth something. Hence why I would want to get monetized. And plus, Google's making money off my videos anyway, so I might as well get a cut. That's always been my mindset. And the reason I want to make an indie game, or a homebrew game, is because I have a passion for video games. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to make a video game. So ultimately, I'm making a video game. And that's that. And I'm going to be using GB Studio. Ultimately, I decided that makes the most sense is to use GB Studio. I'm looking to make a very simple game here and a very simple concept. Plus, it just works. It just works, and it's a development tool that I think is a great thing. And I've seen so many people make really awesome games that they've spent a considerable amount of time on. For example, Lunar Journey. Lunar Journey is a game I always talk pretty highly of. It's not the biggest game, but it's so much fun and so enjoyable. Same with Quest Arrest or Dedius, Gelatinous Humanity Lost. I've talked about those games in the past too. All those games are not super huge. They're not like huge worlds, but they're so well done and enjoyable. I enjoyed those games so much, and I played them all on Evercade. So that's another thing too. It's like, I have this crazy deluded fantasy that maybe if I make a decent enough game, maybe someday it'll be on an Evercade card. There's this guy, Giles. I actually reviewed his game a while back or whatever, and he had made a pretty nice little game here. It's like a 20-minute game or whatever, and it's part of an overall trilogy. And that game he actually made with his kids in mind. And I have 2 kids as well, so I can understand where he's coming from, So I want to make something, my 2 kids could play and enjoy. So, yeah, I think ultimately, it's going to work pretty well. I got a really solid concept. I'm going to tell you guys this. I shouldn't tell you guys everything. I shouldn't tell you every single thing. I don't tell everybody every single thing I'm doing. I don't tell everybody every single move I make, every single game I'm playing, Here's the concept, guys. Here's my concept for my game. As I had mentioned before, I really like Lunar Journey, big fan of space games. So why not make the game in space? That makes the most sense. It's going to be a game that takes place in space, and the main character is going to be a detective. That's right. A detective, like Detective Pikachu. Maybe not Detective Pikachu. It's going to be a detective type character. I've narrowed it down to two different archetypes. The first one is kind of a character that's a little bit of a cross between Inspector Jacques Clouseau and Mr. Bean. I want this character to be an absolute bumbling moron. Somebody we can all laugh at. Somebody we can all laugh at together. And, he's kind of one of those, moronic detectives who doesn't know what he's doing, and ultimately he kind of just stumbles around and eventually solves the case kind of thing. Or I'm going to use Sherlock Holmes, because Sherlock Holmes, as of now at the beginning of this year, has become 100% in the public domain. So it'd be really great to have a Sherlock Holmes in space kind of thing. I think that'd be really cool. I'm a big fan of Frogwares, that developer or whatever. They're out of the Ukraine. This developer, they literally are making games in a war zone. And recently they did a remake of their Sherlock Holmes game, The Awakening, which is Sherlock Holmes and Cthulhu, which is an amazing looking game. I have not played it yet, but I am going to at some point. I've played the original a little bit, and I really enjoyed that of what I played. And that's a old school, point and click game. And it came out in 2008, I want to say, but this new remake looks amazing. So yeah, so I might do Sherlock Holmes, or I'm going to do a really bumbling, stupid detective. That's going to be the concept, and it's going to be one of those whodunit, we got to solve the case kind of thing. Could this be a cross between Quest Arrest and Lunar Journey? I don't know. Maybe not quite like that. I'm not going to have swear words in this game. That's not happening. But yeah, definitely a detective story in space. Just seems like a really perfect concept for a black and white Game Boy game. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a black and white Game Boy game. Going to use GB Studio. I think GB Studio is just perfect. Absolutely perfect for what I need to do. Plus, I'm going to be able to, of course, make my own sprites. That's another thing, is you can import your own sprites into GB Studio. So I'm going to make a lot of my own assets. I'm going to use some existing assets, like the existing assets that come with the program. And maybe I'll, buy a few, to, speed up the process of development. So yeah, that's kind of my plan overall. In fact, recently, not too long ago, I made a video talking about the difference between homebrew devs and indie devs. Would I consider myself a homebrew dev? Oh, definitely. Developing my own unique characters for this particular story, and I'll be developing my own sprites for specific characters. And I'm, of course, creating the story itself. And, where things go. This isn't a hack. I'm not going to just take somebody's existing work. So overall, yeah, that is what I got going on here. It's been a really busy week. I'm really happy that I finally got monetized on YouTube. That has finally happened for me. And I've worked so hard for so long, and like I said, it's not much is really going to change. It's not like I'm going to quit my job, to do YouTube videos. That's never happening. That is never happening. Just like I'm not going to quit my job to make video games. This is a passion project. All these things are passion projects that I would hope to make a little bit of, extra cash. Maybe I believe my time is worth something. So, but overall, yeah, that's what I got going on. What are your guys' thoughts? Should I have a character who's Sherlock Holmes, or should I do the bumbling moronic character? Comment below. Love to hear what you have to say. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay awesome in this universe. Thanks.